Hello everyone, and we're gonna actually do episode 9 and 10. So let's begin. It starts with him and Miss Coy, and with a quick lookout at the past. At he has no understanding. Ends with him wanting to go out after everything that's happened. Find out he doesn't have a passport and he doesn't want to leave overnight because he doesn't want to leave same time. Sante. So she basically throws him out of the car because she's like, you know what, you said that we weren't gonna go do the stuff, and now we're not. And I'm like, we could have gone for like a real big vacation, but we're not. So he's like, okay. Um, they go. They eventually. He agrees to it, and um, he agrees to it. But what happens is the patient that previously that that the other patient fell in love with. After the whole incident, her family comes. He says she's going back to United States, and so the family takes her back. What happens is the boyfriend is devastated. He doesn't know what to do. So Miss Coy and him, they actually get to go on, because we're speeding through this. Miss Coy and him get a chance to go and have a day trip or overnight trip. And what happens is once they go to some place, because they go to a bunch of different places, a far drive away for a day trip, is that they actually meet the couple and find out he runs away, she runs away, and they're used up all their money to go out there and to um, run away. And so Miss Coy pays for one for overnight, and so instead of him calling in, he says, you guys got one night. I'm going to stay with you, make sure nothing bad happens, and everything's good. Overnight, they go and get some juice, which turns out to be alcohol. I don't know how you figure out um, stuff isn't alcohol when it's clearly marked, at least in the United States, but I guess not in Korea. Or you get it from the guy from the side, turns out one of the reasons he's in the hospital is because he has an alcohol addiction, which you never really get over alcohol addiction. You've always had an issue. It's just that it gets easier to say no, and it takes all of them out of him to say no. So Miss Coy and him actually have a moment. They through this episode, they actually do get to kiss. He gets aggressive with her when he gets alcohol, and they start getting really lovey dovey. And what happens is that they get up in the morning, and through a flashback, you find out that in the morning the patients were about to um, run away with each other, but he decides, because he took all of them out of him to not drink, that he actually decides to stay, which is a really good decision, because you can't really start a life if you're not settled. So they come back after they had a fun time, and they're laughing and joking, and one of the other people at the OK Hospital, after they drop them off and they all drive off together and they're all cutesy, they're like, oh man, they're gonna get married. And so the dude, you know, goes around telling all these stories, saying Tim figures out that he lied, because he didn't say that he was with her. He said he was just out to Seoul, and he has a freak out, starts screaming at his brother, and tells him basically what happens at the lake, where he fell in the lake, and his brother was going to leave him. Then he obviously decided to save him, and then he fell in, and then Miss Coy actually saved his life. But he just keeps screaming, my brother's trying to kill me, and he breaks down crying. And we go into episode 10 because that's a lot of information. The last episode, it starts off just like that. King Tong with a G is crying hysterically on the floor. Everyone's crying. Satan decides to stay at the hospital. Miss Coy follows him and tries to cheer him, saying, he still is okay, but then he goes into this idea that he has to give her up and give up his life for his brother, and that he's just trying to do right. Moonray, a patient suspected of being the ghost, has heavy mood changes, which signals, and she has which signals delusions. So many, after everything is done, everybody's going. Many patients have this negative view of Sing Tae, and it's a back and forth through the episode where he's trying to figure out what to do. The hospital director tries to talk to Satan and Gaetan and tell them to stay strong for both of them and to go back to work. Mr. Park, another attendee, is doing a horrible job, and that's why he says to come back to work. And he tells them he shouldn't dream of a life separate from his brother. Jae-soo tries to get Satan up, tries to get him up with pizza. Miss Coy comes with new underwear, and Gaetan, he refused to let her in and calls her a firecracker that he's had fun with, and he needs to go away now. The head nurse brings Miss Park. There's a lot of Parks. Brings Satan, a giant dinosaur, and basically to try to get him to apologize. He asks him to leave. Miss Coy's having drinks and talks with Juri, and Juri slaps Miss Coy. At a chance to just basically say, that to not live with regrets. Miss Coy publisher comes to get Juri and explains to Miss Coy she's lonely and Miss Gangtae. The next morning, Gangtae and Juri ride a bus to work, and she recounts the last night where the head nurse basically recounts what's happened. She got drinking and stuff, and then what happens is from the flashback, you find out that the patient has been harassing Miss Coy's father by singing "Oh My Clementine," which his wife used to do. And Suri tells him that that Miss Coy is not a monster that needs to be killed. The director thinks that Suri may be the patient, maybe Miss Coy's mother in disguise. Miss Coy awaits for Gaetan at Juri's house, and her mother gets her food. Miss Coy confronts Satan to talk. Satan basically pushes her aside, and Gaetan thinks he's going to Miss Coy's. She goes to Miss Coy's and I messed up. For what happens is that the patient gets out, Suri gets out, and because this is the end of the episode actually. And what happens is that she actually runs out and goes to Miss Coy's house, the patient, and at the end of the episode, they sing "Happy Birthday." Sorry for the jumble, but reading off notes and trying to clarify, because there's a lot of information that happens in the episode, and we're trying to streamline it so we can finish up all the episodes. It's also my birthday, so I'm slowly getting dressed to go, and I'll see you guys next time.